Hello and welcome to the Calculator Review, hosted on Caliquin.com. Today I have my first Canon calculator. This is the Multi-8. This came out in Japan, or came from Japan, in the year 1977. You'll notice it's got a pretty unique look. It's got a brushed aluminum faceplate, and it's got like a kind of it's got kind of like a retro futuristic look to it, and you might also notice it's a little beat up, and that's because this is a pretty old calculator, but also I'm not really sure how to go about cleaning this. There are a few issues with that, and I'll get into that now, I suppose. The main issue is I can't get inside this thing, not safely anyway. There are no screws whatsoever to access the inside. What I would have to do is actually pry this apart, but to do that I risk breaking the plastic tabs inside. So unfortunately I'm not going to be able to get inside this, and that's actually really unfortunate because this does have some unique things going on inside of it. So at first glance this might look like a pretty normal calculator, and well, you'll see. So this takes 3 AAA batteries, which I'll put in now. And being a calculator from 1977, it's got my favorite, the LED display. It's got that kind of bluish, tealish, greenish. I'm not really sure what that color is, but it's always very pleasant to look at. The buttons feel pretty great. I mean, nothing too amazing, but they work just fine. You can switch between positive and negative really quickly, so that's kind of a neat feature. But you might notice that the display isn't exactly filling up, and that's because I currently have it set to single. Now if I hit process, it turns on a second display, and that's where this calculator really stands out. So as I'm performing calculations, this will actually show what's going on. It'll show the previous number that I put in, as well as the new thing, as well as whatever function I want to use, whether it be, well, if you do square root, then it automatically just does it. But it's really cool. I've never seen a calculator, at least one that uses LCDs, or LEDs, I'm sorry, LEDs, and has a second display. That's pretty remarkable. And what's even more interesting is the fact that you can turn it off. Like, you don't actually have to use that second display, so if you're concerned about battery life, then I imagine this would affect that. But, I mean, it's really cool just to watch that number come up. And if you actually just go over to memory mode, let's see, you can actually see the value that you keep in memory, which is also pretty cool. So if I need to retrieve it, so yeah, that's pretty cool. And then I'm not sure what this AM thing does. I don't have a manual for this calculator, sadly, but let's see. So yeah, I'm not sure what. I guess automatic memory, maybe. I don't know. But anyway, I won't get into the stuff I don't really understand, because what's the point? But yeah, being able to use the second display in a number of different ways is really cool. I like the fact that you can see what you have stored in the memory, because if you're constantly working with it, it's nice to know what it is without having to just bring it up and potentially ruin other calculations. It has a pretty strange on-off switch. I'm not sure why Canon would put it down here. It's a really bizarre place to put one. I mean, it doesn't negatively impact the calculator in any way. It's just such a strange choice. Usually you see switches up along the top or along the sides, maybe even on the bottom, but the lower left corner, that's just strange. But I don't mind it. The calculator's pretty hefty. I mean, it's got some weight to it, especially when it's got the batteries inside of it. This is a good feeling calculator, and the fact that this thing is 40 years old now, 42 years old, it's in great shape. It feels really sturdy. The buttons still work awesomely. The display, as you can see, is still working just perfectly, both of them. It's very bright, very easy to see from multiple angles. This is just a really good looking calculator. And honestly, I'd forgotten I had it. I was going through my collection today, trying to figure out what I wanted to review, and I kind of wanted to do something interesting. And when I saw this, I was definitely interested. So I did purchase this from eBay, and I brought that thing up here. I found it for $8, and definitely worth every penny. This is a really cool device to have in my collection. It's got pretty much everything going for it that I love. The retro futuristic look, the fact that it's really sturdy, awesome LEDs, and the dual display is just one of the coolest features I've seen on an old calculator. I see that in a few of the modern calculators, especially the ones that are designed for taking the SAT. I've reviewed others, can't remember any of them off the top of my head. I believe there was the A plus something or other, and then whatever that one was ripping off. I can't remember, but so yeah, this thing is way ahead of its time. Those calculators that I was just mentioning came out within the past 10 years, and this came out 42 years ago. So, huge difference there. I believe this is the only Canon calculator I have in my collection currently, and I am trying to find more. But again, I'm trying to only purchase calculators that I find unique or interesting in some way. I don't want to just keep reviewing the same boring things over and over. Like I like things like this that really stand out and just kind of defy the expectations of what calculators have, what kind of features they have. I will try to get inside of this, but if I even detect a hint of possibly breaking something on the inside, I'm just going to stop what I'm doing. And sadly, this is the most I'm going to get to see of this calculator. I really, really want to get inside to see both of those LED displays. It's kind of a shame that they went with this really dark cover. In fact, yeah, well, it's just kind of a shame that it's covered up. Like, there's really no way to see what it really looks like without taking it apart. But hopefully I'll be able to get it apart safely. If not, again, I don't want to risk this because this is a very unique device. It's not something that I'm likely to find again at this price. Maybe I will, but even then, I don't want to destroy a part of history. Especially something so unique. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this review, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend. So, yeah, bye!